Welcome back to another episode of Followers of the Way. I am your host, Jeremiah. And in today's episode, let's talk about redirection, the painful pruning that leads you back to purpose. You're not being rejected, you are being redirected. So, with this episode, let me help you understand that there's a difference if you're feeling rejected versus being redirected by the Father. So stay tuned. Definitely hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button. We all work together as a community and a body of believers to get the truth out. If you like me and you want to support this channel, definitely go out, get a copy of my book, Eternal Salvation, the Hell Proof Doctrine, and Who Do You Say I Am? Both books would definitely challenge your theology, but it revealed to you who you are, who he is, the true name of the Father, and that you cannot lose your salvation. The study books are out there. I do leave a link in the description. I do leave a link in the comments where you can go to Amazon Kindle to get those books. I'll also leave my email if you want to contact me, any questions, concerns, thoughts, things you want to hear, or just simply breaking bread. All right. We are called followers of the way simply because we are called to follow Yahusha. He is the way. Everything you hear on this channel come by way of revelation. So Father, give us eyes to see, give us ears to hear. Definitely give us a heart to understand your truth. All right. What does it mean, Jeremiah? Because I feel rejected, but you're saying that the Father is redirecting me. Absolutely. So here's a question for you. If you were in a position where you had to make a decision, one decision is saying, hey, I should stay with this job. The other decision is saying, I should take another job. Are you leaving your job because you feel rejected by them? Or are you leaving that job to take another job because you feel like you want to grow? And if you feel like you want to grow, it's the reason why you're leaving that job, then you are in a redirection. So in life, right? In life, we go through seasons. And this is why I'm talking about this, because I'm here. And if I'm here, a lot of us got to be here as well. There are seasons in life where we feel like everything is being taken from us. The relationship change, the friendship change, the job change. People who once made us feel special, even they change. People you thought that will always be there for you are no longer there. And if you are in this season, the Father is not rejecting you. The Father is not punishing you. The Father is trying to take you away from certain things to redirect you. So redirection means growth, not punishment. Now, this is how you know if you are in a redirect stage, when you begin to think like this: Father, what is happening to me? Why do I feel like everything I cared about is being stripped away from me? Why does it feel like I pray, I fast, and nothing happens? In fact, it feels like everything is getting worse. Why do I feel more alone than I ever did before? Why do I feel this way? Now, if that is your thought process, I want to challenge you. I want you to say, am I being rejected, Father, by you? Or am I being redirected? Now, if you're being redirected, that is a sign of growth. What do you mean redirected, Jeremiah? Okay. Redirection is the Father trying to get you back into purpose, identity, and confidence. Because somewhere along the road, you lost it. Go back to the question. If you had a job, you had another opportunity to take another job, you will leave your job because the other opportunity has more potential, more growth. It aligns more with what you want to do. That's identity, purpose, and confidence. It's the same way the Father deal with you and I. So let me show you. Let me give you a Bible. If you look at the book of John, chapter 15, verses 1 through 5. I'm just going to paraphrase it for the sake of time. But here, Yahusha is saying that he is the true vine, and that if we are in him, the Father take us and prune us, for we can bear more fruit. Yahusha is saying here that he is the vine, we are the branches. He abideth in us, and we abide in him. And we bring much fruit if we abide in him. If we don't abide in him, we cannot bear no fruit. So what is the purpose of pruning? What is the purpose of redirection? That you and I bear more fruit. We grow. That's what we do. He said, the branch that is already bearing fruit will also get purged, will get pruned. Why? To bear more fruit. You already got a job. Why are you looking for another job? Huh? Because you want to grow. You want to redirect. So that's exactly what that means, right? To get us back into our life, identity, our value, and our purpose. What is the purpose? How did I get here, Jeremiah? How did I get to this stage where I feel like I'm being pruned by the Father? What took place? Because you put too much value into people, into everything else but the Father. So he has to strip you away from the things that distract you. Check it out. All right. For years, a lot of us look for value in other people. I'm guilty of this. We look for value in our jobs, our friendship, our relationships. We look for value in how people treat us. We look for value in how people make us feel when they appreciate us. So when we feel appreciated, we feel value, right? When your job recognized you, it made you feel, I must be doing something right. I'm successful. When somebody chose you to be in a relationship, it made you feel worthy. When people want to be around you, it make you feel like I must matter. But here's the danger. When we determine our value on how other people treat us, this is the danger. The same people that we put all that value in, they gonna change. Newsflash. Yeah, everybody's going to change. Your job, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your people, your family, even your children, all going to change. Now, question. If you put value into those people and they change, what happened to your value? It changes. Why? Because you put value into the wrong source. And that's when it becomes dangerous. When they stop choosing to hang out, it affects us. When they stop reaching out, it affects us. And after enough situations that we put ourselves in, we feel rejected, heartbroken, we feel disappointed, we feel discarded by all these people. You know what happened to us? We begin to see ourselves differently. Why? Because they no longer treat us the same. So we feel like, what did I do wrong? Huh? We begin to ask those questions, right? What did I do wrong? And we begin to devalue ourselves. We begin to shrink ourselves. We begin to second guess everything. We begin to accept things in our lives we never accepted. A lot of us begin to even over explain ourselves because we feel misunderstood. And if that is you, you are in a prime position where the Father is trying to redirect you. Growth. When you begin to think and say things like this, maybe if I just gave more, they will appreciate me. Maybe if I just be more understanding. Maybe if I stop expecting things, people will stay in my life. Maybe if I become smaller, they'd be more comfortable around me. You begin to blame you. And every time you blame you, your value gets smaller, smaller, and smaller. What happens is you become depleted. And once you become depleted, you don't even know who you are no more. You don't even recognize who you look like in the mirror. And this is what you say. Where do I go now? Do I start all over? What do I do now? This is how you know you're depleted. You're depleted of self-value. Because when you ask yourself this, where do I go from here now? What do I do? In most cases, what do? We're in pain. We feel rejected, discarded, dismissed. It's not a good feeling. Heartbroken, sad, lonely, perplexed. What do most people do? Well, they don't want to be in that pain. They go back to what made them feel good. They want to numb the pain. They go back to what's familiar. They go back to that toxic relationship. They go back to that job. They go back around those people because they don't know where to go. Now, what if I told you, if you are in that position right now, instead of going back to those people, relax, take a chill pill. You are in a position where the Father is trying to redirect you. Does it feel good? Absolutely not. The pruning is not always about what you lost. So we think, right, when we are in that position, where do I go from now? We want to go back to the things that made us feel comfortable. We don't want to lose it, right? We want to hold on to it. And we think when the Father is redirecting us, he's only showing us things that we lost. And we are only focusing on things we lost. No. If you only focus on the things you lost, you will never see where you're going. Why? You're too busy looking backwards. You're too busy focusing on what you lost. And if you're too busy looking backwards, guess where your energy is going to go? Backwards. You're not moving forward. So when you're going through the pruning process, the Father is not just focusing on what you lost. He's trying to get you to understand something. Of course, the relationship ended. The job changed. The friendship fell apart. There was doors that closed in your life. Situations didn't work out. And you want to stand there and you want to look at everything that you lost. But what the Father is saying is this. Stop looking at what left you. I need you to look at what happened to you when you attached yourself to those things that left you. That's hard. It's hard to sit there and to become honest with yourself and say, you know what? I can't believe I put all that effort, work into that situation. When we do that, a lot of us get resentful. We get bitter. We get angry. We get mad. And we mess up the whole process. And then we begin to act on emotions. We begin to act on pain rather than to sit there and say, okay, I know where I went wrong. Where did you go wrong? I built my value on how other people see me. I built my value on that job. I built my value on people. I built my value on that relationship. And they're no longer in my life. And because they left, I no longer know who I am. I feel lost. I feel depleted. I don't know where to go now. So when you're in that position, the only place you can go is up. Well, fun fact, when you hit rock bottom and you are depleted of self-value, you can't go down no further. You do realize that, right? Okay. So if you are depleted and you hit rock bottom, no value, loss of identity, loss of confidence, loss of power, right? Loss of purpose, right? You can only go up. That's the redirect. It's not rejection. It's not punishment. It's not because you did something wrong. That's the redirect. The Father trying to produce fruit. Still? Absolutely. Follow me. When we return to the thing that numbs us, a few things take place, right? This is why people return back to toxic relationships. This is why people keep reaching back out to people that already hurt them and showed them they don't value you. This is why people stay in an environment that constantly discard them, dismiss them. This is why people keep chasing validation from the same people who caused them to question their value in the first place. Because when you are hurting bad enough, you are not always looking for healing. Sometimes you're looking for relief. That's why it's dangerous. You run back to the situations that hurt you because you're looking for comfort. Now, what happens when you do that, and this is why it becomes dangerous, you put yourself in a state of mind where you believe that what is taking place in your life, the way they are treating you, the way they are discarding you, the way they are dismissing you, devaluing you, using you, to you, it becomes normal. Why? Because you don't want to endure the pain. And that's why it becomes dangerous. Because you will sit there in that toxic relationship and be mistreated, but to you is normal. Why? Because you have no value. That means your value is depleted. You want empty. You got a nice car outside with no gasoline. Put the key in the ignition, hit the start button, and all you hear is noise. That's it. The car has no gasoline to get to the next station. Looks pretty. It looks good. But because that car has no gasoline, and because that car can't make it to the gas station, then that car, as good looking as it is, has no value. What I'm going to do with a car that don't have no gas? What I'm going to do with a car that can't make it to the gas station? What I'm going to do with it? I don't got time for that. No. Now, oh, you want to bring my gas and put it in the car? Okay, cool. If I go get my gas and put it in that car and drive it, I'm going to use that car how I intend to use it. And guess what? You still have no value because people are putting gasoline in you and it is using you. No value. That's why it's dangerous to return back to situations that devalued you in the first place. So, what do it truly mean when you have no value? You have a loss of identity. Your identity is your power. And when you don't know who you are, you're powerless. And if you are powerless, you have no purpose. And if you have no purpose, your behavior is only going to reflect those around you. You have no self behavior. Why? Because you don't want the redirection that the Father is trying to do in your life. So let me give you some hope when it comes to value, right? Your value did not start with people, right? Let me help you. This is where the word has to become stronger than the pain, because your pain is real. Your heartbreak is real. The rejection, real. The loneliness, real. Being discarded, real. How you feel right now is real. You got some real pain. Some real pain. The Bible says in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 14, it says, "For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well." Before anybody rejected you, the Father already formed you. Your value did not begin with people. You and I, we are fearfully, wonderfully made. Marvelous. So before we allow anyone to reject us, the Father already formed us. Before anybody discard us, the Father already knew who you was. Before anybody make you feel small, the Father already said you are marvelous. Before anybody walked out of your life already had meaning. Before that relationship you have devalued you, you already had value. Before that job hired you, you already had value. Before those people accepted you, you already had value. And because your value did not begin with people, your value does not end when people walk out of your life. So what I'm saying, nothing in this life bring us value. Really? No. We are fearfully, wonderfully made in the image of our Father. Right? What can this world do to us to bring us more value than that? Ask yourself that. Nothing. So if our value does not come from people, relationship, jobs, etc., why do we put so much value into other things outside of ourselves? That's the question. Ask yourself that. Say it. Say it out loud. If my value do not begin with people, then why do I seek the validation of people? If my value don't begin with nothing that this world offer, then why do I allow my value to be built on how others perceive me? If you say that out loud, it won't make any sense to you. Here's a good example, right? When we feel pain, when we feel hopeless, when we feel perplexed. Peter went through that. You see, Peter followed Yahusha for about 3.5 years, roughly, right? Peter seen the miracles. Peter was bold. Peter had passion. Peter was in a position that he seen and heard things that was wonderful. Peter said to Yahusha, "I will never deny you." And he said he will lay down his life for him. Yahusha said, before the rooster crows, you're going to deny me 3 times, Peter. So the opportunity came when Yahusha was in a certain position. They asked Peter, ain't you his disciple? Peter said, no. 3 times he denied him. Now, can you imagine how Peter must have felt? Wow. I thought I was strong, but I'm not. I thought I was ready, but I'm not. I denied Yahusha. Where do I go from there? You see the questions? Where do I go from there? I mean, do you think he will ever love me again? Probably not. I really messed up. What's my purpose now? What do I do? Peter was lost. Why? Because Peter was in pain. He was in so much pain. Guess what he did? Pretty much what everybody else do. Peter went back to what was familiar. It says here that Peter said he was going fishing. John chapter 21, verse 3. Peter said, I'm going fishing. Now, Peter was a fisherman. Remember when Yahusha called Peter? Peter was on the boat fishing. So Peter went back to the place where he was familiar. And you and I, when we in pain and we don't want that redirect, we go back to the things that we are familiar with. Some of us go back to toxic relationships. We go back to people that dismissed us. We go back to environments that don't value us. Why? To numb the pain. We feel hopeless. Where do I go? What do I do? Now, guess what took place with Peter? He went back. They went fishing. The Bible says that when they went fishing, they went forth and entered into a ship immediately. And that night they caught no fish. Wait a minute. I normally come back to this position. I normally come back to this toxic relationship. I normally come back to this situation and I feel better. This time around, coming back to the situation, it's not working. I'm feeling worse. They caught no fish. Why? It's not because the Father was rejecting them. Don't think that. It's not the Father was punishing them. It was the Father showing them, I love you so much. I'm not about to let you have peace in that situation. So the Father removes his peace. Is he still with you? Absolutely. He shall never leave thee nor forsake thee, but his peace he took from you. So if you want to go back to that toxic environment, you want to go back to that toxic relationship, have at it. He will not give you peace. And that's what happened with Peter. Now, notice the miraculous happened with Peter. The same shore that Peter was on, Yahusha came to that shore. And he said, Peter, do you love me? 3 times he asked Peter that to match the 3 times Peter denied him. Peter said, yeah, I love you. He said, feed my sheep. And then he told Peter, follow me. You see the redirect? You see the redirect? He came to Peter in love, no condemnation, not bashing him over the head, not talking bad about him. He asked Peter, did he love him 3 times? Because he wanted Peter to acknowledge what he did. He acknowledged it. He said, the 3rd time Peter said, you know all things, and you know that I love you. That right there signified what I did. I know I was wrong, but you know that. But what I did does not change the fact that I love you, Yahusha. You know that. And guess what Yahusha said next? Feed my sheep. Follow me. Peter got redirected back into his identity, back into his purpose, back into his power. And we all know what took place with Peter. He grew. The growth, the restoration took place in Peter's life. And this is where a lot of you and I are at right now. So if you feel rejected, you feel isolated, you feel, Jeremiah, I've been praying and I've been fasting. And I've been asking the Father to help me. But the more I pray, Jeremiah, the more I fast, Jeremiah, the more I believe, Jeremiah, it just seemed like my situation is getting worse. Okay, let me tell you what's taking place. Anytime you're going through a redirect, you're going through a purging, you're going through a pruning of the Father, right? It doesn't feel good. All right. Go get a fake vine. Go get a fake branch, not a real one. Please don't do it. And begin to pluck off things, right? That's what happens. So each time the Father plucks something, ouch, something else is going to grow there, but not yet. And when he plugs something off, he's putting his finger on it. And he's trying to show you, hey, you've seen how you put a lot of value in that relationship? Don't do that no more. You see how you put a lot of value in that job? Don't do that no more. You see how you put a lot of value in that situation, your people, your kids, your family? Don't do that no more. Let me tell you why. Because you put so much value in that, you lose your identity. So here's the danger. Once we lose our identity, right, we lose our power. We don't know who we are. So that's why you're feeling like, I'm doing all this praying, I'm doing all this fasting, ain't nothing happening, because you got to acknowledge what you did wrong. The redirect don't start if you don't acknowledge what you did wrong. So you're going to sit there. That's what you're doing. You're going to sit there and idle, spiritually idle, right? And the Father's going to help you if you allow him to. Because what's taking place is a fight between you and the Father. He's saying, hey, Jeremiah, you are fearfully, wonderfully made into the image of my Son. Your value did not start with these people. Your identity does not come from these people. Let me tell you who you are. That's what's taking place. But because a lot of us believe more what the people says of us, more what that relationship says of us, more what that situation says of us than the Father. So we're idle. The Father can't do nothing with us until we acknowledge, oh, I know what happened. I lost myself in that relationship. Yes. Then the redirect start to begin. And then you start to move a little bit. Then you start to see growth a little bit, right? Because you got to acknowledge it. Don't focus on what left you. Focus on what you was attached to that made you lose who you are. Focus there. And then you will see a lot of movement. Now, I know a lot of you are like, well, Jeremiah, how do I build value in myself? Let me show you how you build value in yourself. What you want to do is first realize where you at. Okay. No one can go to the doctor. I hope not, right? No one can go to the doctor and the doctor say, hey, I don't know what's wrong with you. Just take this. If that don't work, come back and then we'll try something else. No. The doctor got to first run tests, right? They got to figure out what is wrong with you before they can treat you. So before you begin to build value in yourself, you got to first figure out where you lost value in self first. And once you identify areas in your life where you lost value, then you're able to rebuild yourself. So once you acknowledge, start there. The second thing you have to do, you have to abide in Yahusha. He said, abide in me and I abide in you. A branch does not produce fruit by begging other branches to validate it. We cannot bear no fruit without Yahusha. So as long as we abide in him, he began to purge us. He began to redirect us, right? That's the second thing you do. So the first step is not trying to make somebody understand what they did. That's what a lot of us do. I got to tell this person what they did. They got to understand. Forget about it. Don't look for closure. They would never understand. So once you acknowledge, you abide in Yahusha, and that's when you get closer to the Father. You get closer to the Father and say, you know what, Father, I know where I went wrong. I put so much faith in people, relationships, situations. I depleted myself. Now I want you to redirect me to bring me back into my purpose, my identity, my power. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. I know you don't want to hear that. Building value in yourself doesn't happen overnight. So the third thing you want to do, right? Third or fourth thing, I think what the first thing is you acknowledge, right? The second thing, you abide in Yahusha, right? The third thing you do is you get closer to the Father. You get a prayer and fast in life. The fourth thing you do, stay alone. Start taking yourself out. Start dating yourself. Start loving yourself. Start telling yourself you matter. Learn from things you've done to get you where you at, and set boundaries, right? Set boundaries for yourself that you would never get into that situation. The biggest flex you can do is walk away, right? You go back and you tell your younger self, I matter. I did this. True story. I went back 23 years of my life and I told myself I matter. And now I understand that I matter. I can't control people. I can't make you love me, right? I can't make you respect me. I can't make you be with me. I can't make you do nothing. I don't got that power. But you know what I can do? I can walk away. Absolutely. Why? Because my value is not in you. You're a preference, right? I prefer to be in your life. I prefer to talk to you. I prefer these things, but I can't make you be here. And if you don't want to be here and you don't want to treat me the way I want to be, I'm going to walk away. Why? Because I matter to me. My identity is important. My purpose is more important. My power is more important. My peace is more important. I'm not for to lose my peace. I'm not for to lose myself in this situation. I'm out of here. And you walk away. That's how you know you're building value. You can't get that power unless you do acknowledge, stick into the branch, Yahusha, pray to the Father, right? And then you have to be alone for a small season. That doesn't mean go get a rebound. It doesn't mean go get a bunch of friends. Stick to yourself. Build. Okay. How many people you know that went to the hospital and had like a serious injury and they out the next day, right? They stay in the hospital, right? Why? Because the doctor got to monitor them. The doctor got to make sure that they heal the right way. So that's what you have to do. We are in a redirect. Spend time with yourself. All right. I'm gonna end with this. I want to. I don't want to make this a little bit too long. All right. Maybe what you call rejection was the Father cutting away everything that taught you who you are and gave you a false identity. Maybe what you call loneliness was the Father getting you alone long enough to remind you who you are. Maybe what you called loss was the Father removing things out of your life to show you your true identity. You went back to the boat that was familiar, but the net is empty because you did not have the same desires you had before when you went back to what was familiar. You only went there to feel better. When we go back to things to numb the pain, the desire for us to be there, you got to understand, is not there any longer. We only went back to avoid pain. And the only thing we're doing is buying time. You are not what they told you you are. You are not made up of who they said you are. That heartbreak that you experience, the rejection, the failure, the discard, being forgotten was all a part of the plan. Really, Jeremiah? Absolutely. The Bible says all things work for the good of those that love Yahuwah and that are called according to his purpose. So everything that you went through, that you're going through currently, the Father is only doing it to redirect you for you to produce fruit and grow. Now, here's a little fun fact. We all heard what goes up must come down. Okay. In this kingdom of Yahuwah, you first must go down before you can go up. So if you feel down today, that's in your favor because the only place you can go is up if you allow the Father to prune you, if you allow the Father to purge you, if you allow the Father to redirect you. All right. Now, all of those who have not been born again and baptized in the name of Yahusha, I challenge you to do so. Read the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 38. That is the only way you can get into the kingdom. We must all repent and be baptized in the name of Yahusha for the remission of sins. And we must receive the set apart spirit, the Ruach Habadesh, with the evidence of speaking in tongues. So if you haven't done that, that's something you definitely want to do. Why, Jeremiah? Because if you don't do that, you're not in the vine. And if you're not in the vine, then you're not a branch. Yahusha said it best. He said, he is the vine and we are the branch. If we abide in him, we shall bear much fruit. He also said, we can do nothing without him. So what are you getting? Definitely get understanding. And if you haven't and you want to know who you are, it's important. Get the books. Hell Proof Doctrine and Who Do You Say I Am? It'll help you know who you are, your purpose, your power, your identity. It's important for you to know who you are. This world. Okay. I'm going to add this in as a bonus. And if you want to know more about this, hit me up in the comments. Hit me up in my email. All right. Let me ask you a question. How many people out there think they're African American? How many people out there think they are an American citizen, right? How many people out there think they are what the world called them to be? Whatever tribe, whatever creed, whatever culture, whatever nationality. Huh? Do you think that's your identity? This is what I mean. This is how we become devalued. Because we are operating in an identity that devalue us. It devalue. You think being an American citizen gives you power? You do? I hope not. Being an American citizen does not give us power. Being an American citizen gives the government power to manipulate us, to dictate us, to control us. And if you're not an American citizen, it also gives the government power to deport you. Think about it. Do you truly believe that the government would give us power? If we had power, think about this. And I ain't trying to get into politics. We can overturn the government if we had power. So who has the power? The person that gave us the identity holds the power. That's why it's important to know who you are. I am not an American citizen. I mean, do I got the rights? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I do. Do I bear the rights of American citizen? Absolutely. But I'm not an American citizen. I'm not an African American, Afro-American, whatever you want to call it. Africa, what? I'm none of that. You know what I am? Read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Yahuwah said he's going to scatter his people to the four corners of the earth, right? Scatter. He said, I'm going to scatter you amongst the heathen in a strange land. Why is this land strange to me? Because this land doesn't identify me. I'm not from this land. I am from Yahuwah. And my identity is found in Yahusha. I am the son of Yahuwah. That's my identity. I'm not an African American. I'm not an American citizen. I'm the son of Yahuwah that is scattered amongst the heathen, dwelling in a strange land. That's my identity. This world cannot identify me. This world cannot produce my identity. What this world can do is deplete me of my right identity and give me their identity just to control me. Oh, you don't believe that? Okay. There's only one truth. Yahusha said he is the way, the truth, and the life. What truth can we find outside of Yahusha? None. And the Bible says we should know the truth, and the truth shall do what? Set us free. So if the only one that can set us free is Yahusha, and my identity is only found in Yahusha, then the one that freed me is Yahusha. And the opposite of freedom is what? Control. And the opposite of truth is a lie. And the father of lies, according to the Bible, is Satan. The Bible says that Satan is the god of this world. And if the father of lies is Satan, and if Satan is the god of this world, then Satan wants to control me. And you thought this world identifies you? You thought you was an African American? You thought you was an American citizen? You thought that was your identity? That devalues you. It renders you powerless, and it gives you a behavior to act accordingly to an American citizen. It gives you the behavior to act like a African American. Just food for thought. But what all you're getting, get understanding. And here we keep Yahusha as king.